Hi friends! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm sitting down to film this video. I have taken quite some time off, a few weeks off behind the scenes for my maternity leave because I had my baby boy, you guys. This is so fun and like a little bit surreal. It honestly feels kind of different because I feel like I've changed so much the past a few weeks, 7 weeks, however long it's been since giving birth. 2 kids is such a wild journey. I will definitely be like kind of talking you guys through and just like chatting to you while I do my makeup today. I feel like I'm such a different person. I didn't realize that I would feel different again having a second baby. I feel like I definitely went through quite a transformation becoming a mom, but I would say there's probably an equal amount of transformation in almost a different way having another baby. It's so interesting. So I feel like such a different person, and I can't wait to just like tell you guys about everything and tell you how I'm feeling right now and hopefully just chat with you. And if any of you guys are in the same boat postpartum, wow, this is a wild ride and I'm still in the thick of it, so I'll tell you more about exactly where I'm at, but I'm mostly just really excited to sit down and film again. It's been a long time and I'm going to be doing my makeup. I've done my makeup maybe 3 times since giving birth. One of them was for our family photo shoot after having him. The other 2 times were just for fun. So this is kind of like the routine that I've been using, and I'm just going to kind of like chat and do it. Everything will be linked down below, obviously, for you guys. But I'm happy to be in my studio. It's so crazy. Let's start out with a little bit of moisturizer. By the way, you guys, thank you so much for the love on this. I haven't been able to like say that to you because we launched this while I was on my maternity leave. Our RAVIE Beauty Signature Skin Dream Barrier Cream, the way you guys received this and the compliments that we've been getting as you guys have been receiving and testing this yourselves has been just amazing. So I'm just gonna kind of hydrate my skin really quick. But wow, you guys, holy smokes, 2 kids. 2 kids is so different than 1. Whoever said that going from 0 to 1 was harder lied. Just kidding. I feel like they're both honestly pretty difficult in their own ways. Some things were definitely easier this time around. I feel like because I know how to take care of a baby. I feel like what I would say is I haven't been as anxious about a lot of things. Like even, you know, post-birth recovery, I wasn't as anxious because I knew that I would eventually heal, and I just knew and was familiar with the feelings that come from healing from birth, you know what I mean? And all the things that happen right after birth. I feel like they don't tell you or prepare you for all the things that are to come postpartum. I think we're all very good at making our little cute registries for all the things that we need, you know, as far as supplies go, which are helpful. We need to do that. But nobody really talks about how much goes into your healing, like physical healing after birth. So anyways, you guys, to be honest with you, I haven't slept. I haven't slept in weeks. I haven't slept in weeks. If you're wondering why my dark circles are darker than usual, it's because they should be based off of how much sleep I've been getting. The thing that I wasn't prepared for with this sweet little man, and he is so precious, you guys. He's so sweet, but he's very different than my first. I don't know why I thought, oh, I know how to be a mom because I've already done it once. It's like, yeah, but all I had experience with was my first baby, and every baby is so different and they have different, you know, personality traits and just different needs, I guess, different challenges. And so there's been some challenges with sleep that I've never experienced before. And it's not like I'm trying to get a full night of sleep, you guys. Like, it's a newborn. I happily will wake up to feed my baby throughout the night, you know what I mean? But it's been a little bit more, a lot of it more of a struggle, a lot of like genuinely sleepless nights for both me and my husband, but we are surviving, and I feel like there's just a shift in my mindset, which I will maybe get into later. I feel like I don't even know where to start because I have so much to say because I haven't talked to you guys, even though you've seen my pre-filmed content. I haven't talked to you guys on camera in forever, like besides my pre-filmed stuff. So I guess I should backtrack a little bit to kind of touch on the actual birth experience itself. I'm not going to go into like huge detail, but it was really, 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 really sweet. I will say that. It was special. I know I mentioned in my video before I went on my maternity leave how I was really like excited and also grieving a lot with my sister who passed away, who was also supposed to give birth literally the same week as me. And so I've kind of had a mixture of feelings this time around for good reason, you know, with my sister not being here. So I still am navigating grief on top of postpartum, which I've never done before. And I feel like that's been a little bit more of a challenge as well, but birth itself was actually so sweet and so beautiful. And like many of you guys had commented in that video that I would feel my sister really close, I definitely did. So it was really sweet, and overall everything went very smooth as far as my birth goes, which I'm really grateful for, you know, because this year had been not very smooth. So it was nice to have physically a pretty uneventful delivery and a pretty uneventful postpartum recovery for me physically. So I'm thankful for that. We did have a little tiny brief moment at the NICU right after. Our little buddy just needed some help breathing. The birth was so quick, you guys. I guess I should say that. It was so fast that some of the amniotic fluid in his lungs didn't get a chance to make it out, and so his oxygen levels were not where everybody wanted them, where I wanted them. So he spent the first night in the NICU just to monitor everything, and luckily, thank heavens, everything was okay. So that was the only like scary thing, I guess. You know, I tried to hang tight, but goodness me, like little babies are just so sweet and so fragile, so any little thing, and of course as a mom you're just always on edge if anything happens with your baby. So I'm just thankful that he was okay. But the birth itself was so fast. It's so funny because I kind of like had a feeling that it would be fast this time. I don't know why. You know, you hear that your second baby in general, if you've already had a baby, usually the second birth is supposed to be a little quicker, a little smoother, whatever. So I kind of just had like the idea in my head that it would be really fast. Because of my more recent health situation after my sister passed, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, but in case you didn't know, my sister passed away from blood clots in her lungs. She was also expecting, and long story short, that led us to discovering a very rare and niche genetic blood deficiency disorder that I have, and also several of my other family members have. So because of that, I was put on blood thinners throughout my entire pregnancy, and also postpartum for 6 weeks. And then it just meant that for me, it had to be a little more planned, my birth. Well, it didn't have to be, but if I wanted the option of an epidural, we kind of had to like plan things a little bit, because you cannot be on blood thinners for a certain amount of time if you want the option potentially of an epidural. We went in like the afternoon, I think around like noon maybe, and they started me on Pitocin just slowly because I really wanted to just be as gradual as possible, if possible. So it was slow and steady, and I wasn't really progressing too much. It wasn't like there was no progress, but it was kind of slow. So I thought it would take all day long and maybe into the next day. And then, oh, I can't forget, I'm gonna put on my lip oil really fast. I decided, you know what, I want an epidural this time. My first birth experience helped me realize that with Pitocin, I did want an epidural, to each their own. So for me, I learned from my last birth experience as well. Things moved pretty quickly with my first baby girl after they broke my water. So I was like, this time, instead of breaking my water and then doing the epidural, because I almost didn't get the epidural because that's how fast things moved, I was like, let's do it reversed. I'll get the epidural, then break my water, and that should just put me at ease, right? Like, in case things move quickly. I get the epidural around like maybe 4 p.m. That was a different experience in and of itself. Because the last time I got an epidural with my first baby, I was so deep in very intense, almost at the end of labor and contractions. And so I was not even on this planet. So I didn't remember really the epidural. Like, my contractions were so much more intense than anything else happening that I didn't remember what an epidural felt like. This time it was reversed. I was very coherent, and I was very much just going through a lighter stage of labor when they put the epidural in. So I didn't love that experience. That was different. It was It was fine, and I'm grateful, but it was not a very comfy feeling. We'll just say that. So then I just was waiting for the epidural to kind of kick in before actually having my OB come in and break my water. And I was laying in the bed and I started to notice that the epidural was working on my right side, but not my left. And so I was like, oh, you know, maybe it'll just take a little minute for it to like take on the other side, right? So I was like, I'm not worried about it. And then the nurse had me kind of like roll over to see if it would help kind of move over to my left side. So then I decided to get my water broken. So my OB comes in, breaks my water, and then the epidural still wasn't really like kicked in fully, but it hadn't been that long. So they were like, you know what, let's just keep an eye on it, keep us posted, and we'll tell the anesthesiologist if in a few more minutes, let's give it 15 more minutes, we'll tell him if it didn't take. So I was like, okay. And I sat there and like all of a sudden I could really feel things start picking up after my water broke, which I anticipated. And so by then I could really kind of tell, I was like, I don't think that the epidural's working on my left side, because I had felt most of, you know, the contractions until I pushed my first baby out. Literally, that's when the epidural took. So I recognized the intensity and I was like, I can feel a lot. I kept saying that, like, guys, I can feel a lot on my left side. So they were like, okay, let's get the anesthesiologist back in. I think he was busy with another patient at the time. I just continued to kind of wait, and I quickly felt so much intensity and so much pressure. I kept saying, I'm feeling a lot, and I was crying at this point because I recognized the intense labor feelings that come with having a baby. And, you know, I was like, I can feel it. I can feel everything on my left side. So they're like, all right, let's get the anesthesiologist back in. And so they kind of hunted him down. But because I was telling my nurse, like, I'm feeling a lot, she went and hunted down my OB and said to him, don't go anywhere, don't go far. Like, I think Allie is maybe close to having the baby. So literally, you guys, it was so crazy. The anesthesiologist comes in, he kind of repositioned my epidural, and I immediately feel it starting to go down the left side. So it just needed to like be repositioned a little bit. I just was feeling so much. I was like, I don't know, I just feel a lot. That's all I kept saying. And so they had my OB come in and he checked me and he was like, Allie, guess what? It's baby time. And I was like, you're kidding me. Because from the time they broke my water to the time I started to push, it was 40 minutes later. 40 minutes, you guys. And in birthing time, that's not long at all. So the progression that I made from when they broke my water, I really thought I would have several more hours, to 40 minutes later being like, just kidding, your baby is ready to come out. I just couldn't even believe it. So I think I pushed through 2 contractions and he was born, and it was the sweetest thing ever. I remember specifically my husband, Tylen, when my doctor was like, oh, the baby's, like, it's time, basically, we looked at each other and we were like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe, like, we're going to meet him in literally just a few minutes. So yeah, he was born on September 9th at, 6:05 p.m. And he was 7 pounds, 10 ounces. What a sweetheart. I love him so much. And it was really, really sweet. Again, very fast, relatively smooth. And then after that, you know, they monitored his oxygen levels, and that's where things kind of took a small turn for a second, just to make sure that he was okay and didn't have any sort of infection in his lungs or anything like that. So the NICU situation wasn't my favorite. Obviously, it wasn't ideal to not be able to be with your baby the night that they're born, but I'm just grateful that he's okay and healthy. And yeah, it was a really, really, really sweet experience. We had quite a bit happen after that as well, which I won't get into details, but there was just things that like didn't go super smooth or as we were expecting. And so I don't know, it just kind of like took a lot longer than we thought to adjust. But now that we've been home for a while, it's been really sweet to have 2 babies at home, and my sweet toddler girl has been just the best big sister, you guys. It is so precious to watch her with him. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. But yeah, after birth, you know, you get sent home and then you're immediately thrown into survival mode and taking care of a newborn. And I feel like this time around, in so many other ways, while it was definitely easier in some ways, like my birth was definitely more smooth, my physical recovery has been much better than the first time around, which I'm grateful for. But wowzers, we have been pushed to capacity when it comes to like the sleepless nights. It's just he's so sensitive. He's so sensitive, and he doesn't like to be laid down anywhere. So we've been troubleshooting quite a bit, but it's kind of made us not sleep at all, and it has been really tricky sometimes. It's so hard because, you know, you don't want to sound like you're complaining about a postpartum experience that I prayed for. Like last year, I prayed so hard for another baby, and I'm so grateful that like he's here and he's healthy. But wow, being a mom is the most transformative thing ever in the world. And like I said in the beginning, I thought that I had been already transformed since I'm already a mom. So I thought that there wasn't maybe much more growth to do, at least not in like the stages that I've already done as far as having a newborn. But because this baby is so different and more sensitive and really has a hard time sleeping, it's just allowed me, I guess, more of an opportunity to continue to grow and to continue to practice my patience. And I feel like my husband and I have had a lot of aha moments the past 6 weeks. Being parents again and having a toddler and a newborn, it definitely is different. 2 kids is different than 1 kid. I'll tell you that right now. It's just busier, and I feel like one thing that we didn't realize we had the luxury of, because there was so much more that's new, right, with the first baby, is with our first, if we had a rough night, we could just kind of like chill and stay in bed. But when you have a toddler, you can't just stay in bed all day, you know what I mean? So it's been quite a journey, and I feel like I understand now, because even with our first, you know, and I would hear people be like, I don't know, it's so hard, and my baby's colicky, and I didn't know what colicky meant. But now that I've experienced that, my heart goes out to all of the moms who have, you know, a little bit more of a sensitive baby. It is an extra level of intensity, and it's so sweet, but man, you really are thrown into a world of so many new things. And troubleshooting and trying to do the best you can for your baby and all the things. It's been tricky, you guys. Like, it's been harder than either my husband and I have wanted to admit, maybe. But we've kind of put a finger on one thing, and I'm gonna share it just in case any of you guys are in the same boat as me. And even if you're not like postpartum necessarily, I think this just is a good kind of thing to remember for all of us in general. I mentioned before that like I felt like expectations were a huge thing with my first pregnancy. Like just getting rid of expectations really help you to not feel too anxious, I guess. But I would even take it a step further now that I'm a mom of 2. And the thing that I've noticed has caused me the most, you know, anxiety this time around is when I hold myself to the standard of my old life. And I don't think I like realized that I would have a completely new life with 2 kids versus 1 kid. I think I kind of assumed that it wouldn't be as drastic of a shift because I was already a mom, like I said. And so when it came to like how my life was, I didn't expect it to change as much as it did, just by adding another baby into the mix. But by golly, it has. Anytime that I felt like a lot of pressure or anxiety or stress, I kept putting a finger on like it was me comparing myself to or trying to get back to the schedule that I had a few weeks ago, or trying to like live up to like having my old schedule or my old self be my current standard. And I felt so anxious because I felt like I wasn't sure if I could ever get back to what I was doing right before giving birth. And then I had the realization, like, I shouldn't be trying to get back to a schedule with 1 2-year-old. You know what I mean? Now I need to just focus on rebuilding from here with a 2-year-old and a newborn. And what does that schedule look like now? And I don't need to hold myself to the expectation and the cadence that I had 6 weeks ago, nor should I. As soon as I like reframed that, my husband and I reframed that, and it works for everything. Like, we took our schedule and everything we had built with that life, that era, that phase, right? And that phase has ended now. Like, we're in a new phase. We closed the chapter, and now we're literally rebuilding very, very slowly our new life as a family of 4. And I feel like when you view it like that, for me anyway, it gave me so much freedom to just not like stress about getting back to a life that I will never go back to. Does that make sense? I don't know. It definitely is such a challenge, and there's so much that comes up emotionally and physically postpartum, but that has helped me tremendously the past couple of weeks to just try to reframe things a little bit. It's also been very helpful to reframe my brain and just kind of tell myself every single day that all I can control is the current moment, the present, and all I can do is just meet my baby where he's at. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes if we just reframe our mindset and realize that a lot of the anxiety, at least for me, that I have been feeling was coming from a pressure that I didn't need to be putting on myself when it came to getting back to like work or life in general. That I could just meet myself where I'm at too and be honest with myself and even with you guys. Like, worst case scenario, I know now, reframing things, if I were to tell you guys like, hey, you know, I'm still so sleep deprived, and if it ever got to a point where it's like I can't film for a little while, or I'm gonna have less videos, whatever, you guys would understand. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I can definitely adjust, you know, and I think I just knowing that I can change other things and I can change the things that are in my control, because there's a lot that's not, and a lot of what's in my control is my mindset, my perspective, and you know, the way I want to build my schedule, which is so nice. So anyways, I just, you know, if you're going through it postpartum, just know that like I am right there with you. I think it's so interesting because I've been doing a lot of consuming social media wise, and not a lot of creating, obviously, because I took some time off. And I feel like I realized a lot doing that. And I realized how, you know, how much I was longing for someone to like validate me in the season that I'm in. And not that it doesn't exist, but it definitely doesn't exist specifically to what I'm experiencing very much. So I wanted to like share a little bit more of my current experience with you guys, just in case there's somebody who, like me, is going through this and was looking for just like reassurance that like we're in this together. You're not alone. You know what I mean? There's so many people that are going through the same thing. Chances are they're just not posting about it because if you're going through the newborn trenches, you don't always have the time, energy, or stamina to film it and talk about it or whatever. So I wanted to make sure to kind of give you guys a little shout out and let you know that we're all in this together. In the words of High School Musical. Overall though, like in the grand scheme of things, it's been very, very, very sweet. And I have to just take things one day at a time. And when I do that, it feels much more doable, attainable, and I'm excited to like create and build my new life as a mom of 2 kids. Because it's fundamentally different. Like, it's so different. Like, it's not just the number of kids, it's a whole human. Like, it's a whole other soul that's in your life, you know? And so I feel just excited now that I've been practicing kind of reframing my mindset and giving myself permission to like redo things. If something's not working the way it used to, I can give myself permission to like, you know, start over and think through how things are going to work best for me now in my new phase, and not try to hold myself to the cadence and expectation of who I was 6 weeks ago, you know? So anyways, thank you guys so much, I should say, for all the sweet comments. I know I posted on my Instagram stories that he was here, and you guys had left comments over there, and you'd also left comments for me throughout my videos that I had pre-filmed, which I am so thankful for. I love you guys so much. I feel like I'm gonna, you know, I'm excited to film again. I definitely feel like a lot of my content coming up, it has to just fit who I am right now. And so a lot of it's going to be, you know, 5-minute mom routines, probably. Very realistic, very simple. I feel like there will be some videos where I might just feel like doing my makeup because I've realized how, again, it's so important to have something that really like makes you feel like you and gives you a moment for yourself. And for me, that's always been makeup, but now even more so, becoming a mom in general, and I'm now a mom of 2. When I have the time, which I haven't yet, but I feel like it's gonna get there, to do my makeup, I'm excited to like also use this space as a place for me to be creative. I just feel like I need that, and so I hope that you guys are looking forward to like seeing a little bit of some extra content. I feel like I want to share just, yeah, just more of where I'm at. I feel like this year has changed everything about me. I'm so different, and it started with losing my sister, of course. You can't not change when something so big happens like that. So I was already just, you know, redoing my whole life after losing her and trying to just, you know, be better in honor of her. Does that make sense? And then having another baby did the same thing in another way. And so anyways, I've just been really like contemplating. I've had a lot of time off. It's been busy, but in the middle of the night when I'm soothing my baby, I've had a lot of thinking time. And I've just been thinking so much about how I want to, you know, show up for you guys and how I want to share myself and my life and how different I am than I was, you know, when I started this channel 9 years ago. So yeah, anyway, I've just yapped and yapped. This is my little routine though. This is what I've done the 3 times I've done my makeup. Oh, it's been such a trip, you guys. Being a mom of 2, I love it. I do. I love it, but it's just, wow. It is hard work. You moms out there of multiple children, or even of 1, goodness me. It's a full-time job, and I feel like I have so much respect for the incredible moms in my life, and you guys as well. I know so many of you guys are going through this as well. I know lots of you. I've seen lots of comments saying, hey, like, you know, I'm due in October, which it is October or September, and if you are due in the next few months as well, congratulations, and I hope that you know that I'm right there with you. And social media can be interesting, and it's like we always hear that, right? It's like everyone shows their highlights, but like I said, as I was going through just the tricky trenches, which I'm still very much in, and as I'm consuming more pieces of content from people, I was grasping for anything to validate and for anyone to just like see me. Does that make sense? And I didn't really find it. So I know this is a makeup video, right? It's not like a vlogging my night routine with my newborn, but just know that like I am in it with you, and I love you guys. And wow, life is so incredibly wonderfully chaotic, you know? And I feel like these are the moments that really shape us. And boy, oh boy, am I being shaped more than I ever have in my life than this year. But thank you for all of your well wishes. I am so lucky to be a mom of 2 incredible souls. And I just, you know, I just hope to be the best mom I can be for them, you know? And so, if this is what it takes to shape me into the best person for them, I'll take it, you know? I'll do it. So, love you guys. I gotta go put my sweet baby down for a nap. But I hope you guys have a fabulous day wherever you are. I know I didn't really mention the products that I'm wearing, but I will have everything listed and linked for you guys down below if you want to know what I've been doing. If I have a day to do my makeup, this is what I've been doing. I've got a lot of fun products though. Like there's been a lot of PR that's come in over the past month and a half that I've been kind of, you know, stashing away to try and to film with. So I'm excited because I just haven't had a second to like dip into like good new makeup either. So stay tuned for some new content with that kind of thing as well. I love you guys. If I sounded, you know, kind of monotone and tired through this video, it's because I am. It's because I'm exhausted. But who isn't these days, right? Who isn't? I did a poll on my Instagram. I was like, is anyone else losing sleep or like up with your kids all night? And 70% of you guys said that you're also getting up through the night, which made me feel seen. So cheers to all of us who don't sleep. Sleep will come again one day. And just trying to, you know, soak in every moment, because I also know that this time goes by fast. That is a plus of having it be my second kid. I do know that eventually whatever it is they grow out of usually, and the time does pass by so fast. Easier said than done when you're not sleeping, but you know, I'm trying to find that balance of really soaking in every moment and also trying to survive just as much. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a fabulous day wherever you are, and I can't wait to just keep growing with you. Like 9 years on this channel has put all of us through so much. We're all different people than we were 9 years ago, and I'm, you know, looking forward to hopefully having my content in the future reflect where I'm at now a little bit more, just because this year has completely changed me. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.